up with Kane Park for the Sip at Kane, Cleveland Heights' first wine and beer festival, September 23rd from 2 to 8.
Yo, it's your boy Cam. We here at the Pull-Up Experience. Today we got a great episode, 145. 145. Shouts out to that, man. We got some beautiful people up here. We got the homie Brandon. Shouts out to Brandon. We got the beautiful sister Brittany. We got the beautiful queen LJM. We're going to dive into it, man. We're going to dive into it. Go ahead and tell the people that don't know about you a little bit about yourself.
By the way, this is first, y'all. This is first.
Because when we first met, I was interviewing you. So you came on my radio station.
Yeah, I did.
Now, full circle.
Yeah. And that's not a proper introduction.
I'm sorry. See, this was new to me too. Like I didn't know I was doing this. So the soul surgeon, the sister, the queen, man, you do it all, man. From radio to speak easy, go hard, represent the brand. You know, to the Zen zones you got going on in Cleveland, man. You a powerful sister, a powerful queen. You know, go ahead and tell the people that don't know about you a little bit about yourself.
I think in this moment, I just want to wrap up the fact that I'm an equal of being on the human experience. And that's just the type of time I'm in. I do have a lot of projects going on, like I said, because that's an eco therapy space that opened up in 1995.
Actually, on the Riddle Forum down there
on 82nd Street, it will be super dope. We actually have an event on July 20th, which is this Thursday, called The Port, and y'all should totally come out because we're talking about this community out to come help us build the Zen Zone as well as help us build POD, which is today with the possible. I'm just waiting for questions.
I was coming. Because, like, y'all know how we get down, you know what I'm saying? Because we like to talk about the past, the present, the future, but let's start with the past. Like, we know you are melodic with the words and whatnot. Was that always something that came easy to you, or that's something that gradually you got better at?
What's funny about that is they say, like, the pearls of your future are cast in your past.
See, I didn't know that was right.
Hey, no, it's all good.
I know it was weird because, like, when I was a kid, I just remember, I don't know who did this, but you know, I had like one recording because that microphone attached to it. It was like a radio, you could sling it over and talk to me so you heard the voice come through it. So I would just run around the neighborhood, just recording people, talking to people, doing all that. I remember I would be in first grade, and to get all the work done, I would make everybody. I was real bossy.
I don't know, it kind of just, it's always been like that. But I made everybody play news anchor. So we would be playing and doing our homework, and our homework were the reports that we would have to report back in front of the news. So doing those things. My first job was actually out the lake, and I was actually working, you know, the games out there. So that was a mic too. So all day I was on the mic. So oddly enough, I don't know, the mic has just always, just been handed to me. But I didn't always take it because, you know, I don't think I've ever been one of those lucky people who immediately knew their purpose. And I guess that's a part of my testimony because, you know, some people sit there and they're like, oh, people are lost, people don't know what they want to do, but it's not that they're lost, people just haven't discovered their purpose. Like, some people are moving on purpose, but they're not moving in their purpose. So when it comes to that, because I was like that. I was educated, but I was ignorant. And you know, a lot of people they always think like, oh, you got degrees and whoop, but degrees it don't really mean anything. And I know that sounds weird, and people probably disagree with me for that, but I mean, student debt is real. Still have it, and personally, I just think college is a way to set up for capitalism because all it does is it proves to your employer that you can go somewhere for 4 years, complete a set of tasks, show up at a certain time, you know, and get a it's not the end all be all answer to everything. So kind of got lost where I was going with that, but
No, good stuff.
I got lost where I was going. I went on a whole tangent. But yeah, so I went to school. But when I went to school, that's when I learned about poetry. I would always write poetry. But I remember I got up on stage and I was trying to spit a poem from memory versus reading it, and I messed up. And I remember like in the middle of the line, I was like, whoop! And the whole audience repeated me. They didn't repeat the lines, they repeated the whoop! And I just like stopped and walked off stage. And I had never got back on stage. Like, I think that was like my sophomore year of college. I was like, oh, I never got back up on stage. So I went like on an 8-year hiatus of like not spitting, not doing poetry, not talking, not doing any of that. And I say that to say, I found my track. So I say that to say is like, that happened in college. So again, I had the education, but I was really ignorant to like things going on in the world. I was still believing the news. I was still believing NASA about aliens not existing. I was still, I was still just, I was believing what was being told to me versus me asking questions and trying to figure out things for myself. In order to put myself in a position where I could make executive decisions. So with that being said, I really didn't discover my purpose until I think it was 2017. It was 2017. I was in Washington, D.C. That's where I was for a second because I went to Georgetown. So, and that's where I was getting my master's from. But I was teaching at the time. And the school I was teaching in, I was a reading teacher. I would teach babies how to read. And when I was telling them to get books, one of my students was like, we don't have any bookstores. And I was like, what do you mean we don't have any bookstores? And I was like, there are bookstores around here. You can go buy books. Like, there are bookstores, right? Again. And that's when I realized there were no bookstores. And that's when I learned about literacy deserts. And literacy deserts made me learn about food deserts, right? And the thing is, growing up in Cleveland, especially on the east side of Cleveland, that is a place where they make oppression seem on the rise, right? And just being here in Cleveland and growing up, I didn't know anything about redlining. I didn't know anything about concentrated areas of poverty. I didn't understand that the only lasting institutions in the hood are gangs or churches or possible McDonald's. Like, I didn't know these things, right? I had to like leave and go out of my home to discover certain things and to understand this terminology and to really understand the environment to which I was developed. I was just telling Cam, like, I didn't know I was poor until I went to college. Like, I didn't know I was poor. Everybody around me was poor. You get what I'm saying? And when I say poor, I mean as far as like capital, as far as like those dead presidents. Now, granted, I'm rich in love, in abundance in love, I'm abundant in care and like support, and the stuff that money can't buy, right? Like, that's what I'm rich in. So I didn't understand that, but even just think about the fact that going to Geauga Lake, that was a family vacation. You feel me? Like, that was a trip. When I get to college, I hear people talking about, oh, we went to Hawaii, I went to the Great Wall of China, we went to Maui, we went to Belize, and Google wasn't there. I don't know what any of these places are that you're talking about. And I'm thinking like, hold on, I thought you couldn't do that until you got older. And it was just, like I said, it was just eye-opening for me. So that's why I say I was ignorant, because my eyes were shut to a lot of things. And it took a baby who I was trying to teach how to read to like really stimulate that process and to open my eyes to see the disparities, the disinvestment, to even learn about those high-sounding words like socioeconomic problems and all that other jargon and colloquialisms that these big-timers use to try to explain my life and other people who are living this life, right? And that's what they use to get funding. That's what they use to get votes. That's what they use to try to make this whole world go around. And I didn't even know that I was a piece or a pawn in some game. You feel me? So, I mean, again, I say all that to say, trying to bring it full circle, but it's just having that ignorance and not knowing. So I didn't know what my purpose was. I didn't even find out that I loved the mic again until I went to We Are Radio. Shout out to We Are Radio. What up, Freddie? Down in Washington, D.C., because I called him up to tell him, because I launched a campaign called Bookapalooza, which was to get people to donate hella books so babies could read for free, so I could get free books out to kids, right? heavens just opened up. It was really weird. It was just like one of those moments. And I was like, oh, this is like my jam. Like, what's going on here? And then I just became so interested in the radio to the point I had to like barter with him. You know, because I was broke. I couldn't pay for studio time. It wasn't a real thing. People was paying $350 a month for their shows to play. No, I need to get in where I fit in. So there would be like a 15-minute space between shows. So like one show would end at 5:30, the other show would start at 6. So I would have a time frame from 5:30 to 5:45. And I would always piss the person off who would start at 6 because they want to come in at 5:30. And I'm sitting here recording my little 15-minute show, and she would be so mad. She still don't like me. I know she don't like me to this day. It's okay. I don't even remember her name, but I just know. And I think her show was called Truth something. And she said she's gonna be like that bitch. I know. It's okay. Are we allowed to cuss my name? But you know, it's just I know for a fact she wasn't rocking with it. But that's why I started calling my show Hijinks, because it was a time where I hijacked the air and I injected your mind. And I was literally going in like hijacking the air for 2.5 seconds, saying whatever I thought was important in the moment. And then it just ended up growing into a whole show. But that was again, it was a slow, I don't want to say crawl, but it was a process. I don't want to say it was slow, right? It was a process. And sometimes we don't respect the process. We don't. And you know, I'm a victim of that too. Like, there'll be times where I have a popcorn mentality, where I want things to happen right then and there. I want that instant gratification versus actually sitting, doing the work, appreciating the work that I'm doing, appreciating the fact that I am doing the work to get this result, right? And that's why it's more so about respecting the process versus just looking for the results. So with that, that's why I tell people, you know, take your time to find your purpose. And I tell other people who are moving in their purpose, you have to be kind and you have to be gentle to the people around us. We can't call everybody ignorant because people are really trying to figure it out. Like, everybody is trying to figure it out. You feel me? Nobody knows what they're doing or what's really going on. This is episode 145. But I'm pretty sure this was just an idea to you at one point in time, right? I'm pretty sure you didn't think, oh, episode 145, this is where I want to get to. You feel me? I'm pretty sure you didn't think you would partner with two wines. Is it two wines? Yeah. Like, I'm pretty sure you didn't think about that, right? So it's just, again, you have to respect that process. And for me, that's what I had to do. I wasn't always a popular radio host. We did internet radio. You know, people, they try to hate on internet radio. Like, oh, you're just on the internet, you're not really on the radio. You don't even listen to the radio, bro. You plug your phone in immediately. Stop trying me. Stop trying me. But now I'm actually on FM stations, and I mean, I see the growth with that, right? But again, I wouldn't be able to do the show that I do today for an hour without having that experience. I remember the first time I sat down in front of a mic and I didn't have a guest. You know how weird that is? Like, do you know how weird that is? You get what I'm saying? Like, when you're just sitting and it's just you talking. No one's talking back at you. I mean, the producer might be in the room, but they in their phone. They're not listening to you. So after a while, it's like, I remember one time I just paused. My producer's looking at me like, and I'm just like, and we're back. You get what I'm saying? Like, I froze for a second because I felt silly. I was like, who am I talking to right now? Like, who's listening to me? So then I had to go and create this like whole 1,000 audience, studio live audience inside of my head that's cheering for me. You hear what I'm saying? Like, I had to create these things for myself.
That's good.
So again, but I had to trust the process, right? And with trusting the process, I had to follow the process, even when there are times when the process didn't make sense to me, or even when there were times when I didn't understand the process, and when I thought this stuff was fluid, I still just had to maintain and be consistent. And consistency to me was even me doing it when I didn't want to do it. So it was just those
said, it took 8 years from one point to another for you to get back on. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think a lot of people disregard the fact that you might not get off the first try, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You might not get it off the second try, but eventually you'll get it. Like you said, trust the process. I think that's a beautiful thing right there. Yeah. And the fact that I knew about food, I didn't know about literacy. I did not know about that, Joe.
Nah, it's a real thing, and you know, people be like, "Oh, well, you got libraries." So you tell me, as a black person, the only thing I can do is rent houses and continue to rent books. I can't own. Like again, I can't own anything. You're not even going to give me the opportunity to go somewhere and to purchase a book and make my own library at home. And that's the issue with a lot of our communities, is that we consume a vast amount, right? But where can we go to produce? Where can we go to make something, to create something, to just use our imagination? Where can we go for that? We don't have those spaces.
And one thing I didn't want to break down is, because I know a lot of people start podcasts, people are starting their own productions and everything. How did you get over that fear? Like I said, I think this, now I'll keep all the way with 100 with y'all. I would never do what you did, just be myself. It gotta be something. I gotta be talking to someone else, because it's just me. Oh no, that's a boring conversation. You know what I'm saying? No, I promise you, I tried it. It did not work very well. You know what I'm saying? But how did you get over that? You know what I'm saying? Because
you feel me? Technology issues happen. Guest cancel. And it's like, okay, well, if a guest cancels, what can I talk about? Like, what am I going to talk about? How can I talk about it? And you know, luckily I had people who are around me break it down to me. You know, break your show down into 15-minute segments. If you're doing an hour show, have your intro, like talk about your personal life. So from, let's say my show went from 6 to 7, right? So from 6 to 6:15, I was talking about my week, what was going on. Then from 6:15 to like 6:17, we break, we have commercials, right? Then 6:17, come back on, I would lead into whatever topic I chose to discuss in that moment. Then from there, after that, we would cut to another break. I would fill in with like a video or something that dealt with that topic to back up what I was saying. And then from there, I would come back and then wrap it up full circle, close it out, and then my show would end. And by that time, the whole hour is gone. Now, an hour show to me is short. Like, I can do an hour show in 2.5 seconds.
you give a whole blueprint.
No, because you gotta break it down. It's a strategy behind everything. And I think that's another thing that people don't realize about podcasts. Like, it takes work. It takes work. And people really think like, oh, I'm going to just hop on, I'm going to record, I'm going to do this podcast. Okay, you can do that. Because I'm gone from having an internet show to running a radio station, trying to get other people to run their own podcast, which is like herding cats. I love it. And then it's just, you go from there, and then you go to having your own show. It's the same. It's the same thing. It's literally just about consistency. And people think like, oh, I want to do this, but can you produce a show every week? You know what I mean? Can you do that? I'm just saying, that's why 145. I was like, for real? Like, that's a lot. Like that. Because I don't think people understand the amount of work. Just the due diligence. The commitment alone to really doing it. Like, people see stuff and they're like, oh, I'm gonna hop on. I got a podcast. Oh, I want an open mic. And it's like, okay, do those things if you want to, but they actually take work, you know. It's not as sweet as you think it is.
That pressure, man.
But you know, people come in at the end. Like, people come in and they see, like, they'll go to a poetry unplug, you know, be like, oh, there's so many people in here. This is so raw. This is so dope. Oh, I can do it. Or people pop up at a ghetto therapy and be like, oh, I can do this. But what y'all don't know is y'all were not with them people when they were shooting in the gym. Y'all were not with them when it was only 3 people showing at the poetry unplug. Y'all were not with what when he been doing this for 10+ years already, and he's finally getting to 2 years of consistency. You get what I'm saying? Like, y'all wasn't there for that type of work to see the back end. Like, no one ever sees what's going on the back end or what that looks like. People just see the rewards. People just see the TV, the news channel stories, and all that other stuff, and they think like, oh, we just got here, and that's never the case. Like, people really worked for that. You know, people really worked to get there and to do those things. Just like the pilot project, like the UAI Academy. They're building this dope, prolific oxygen dome. You get what I'm saying? And the thing is, it's like, you can think like he got these drawings and everything else, but do you know what he's going through to get that produced? Like, do you know how many contractors he had to go through just to get the concrete to get it poured? So it's just, again, it's like the challenges that we face just to even make our dreams manifest. People don't see that. They don't see the tears and consistency and the frustration and the confusion and how your ego and pride want to cover up the fact that you really don't know what you're doing in that moment to produce something. Like, they don't see all of that. And so when you don't see that, some people can get misjudged as being weird. Some people can get misjudged as having a big ego. But the reality is, it's none of those things. People are really just trying to figure it out. And they're trying to look good while they're doing it. Because no one wants to look like a fool. So.
That's good. Yeah, no, I'm sorry. Because, and like, it's funny because me and British are saying, like, man, when we listening, taking it all in, we forgetting to hit it sometimes. But I love how you said it because I think too often, and I ain't gonna say this like I say this overall, but to me, people don't want to see the struggle, see the process. They want to show the progress and the goals until, like you said, man, y'all look at episode 1 versus now. Oh my God, it is night and day, night and day, or whatnot. But like that's why everybody tell me, like, you stick it down. No, I want them to see how far we came along.
Yes, that's how I feel about my mixed cloud.
Yeah.
If you listen to my first shows, trash.
Right.
They're all trash. Like, I'm on there trying to create partnerships with my guests, and like all wrong things. All wrong things. I got people like being awkwardly committing to things. So I'm like, oh, you want to hop on this project? You got them live on air asking them if they want to commit to something. Bruh, come on. Like, what else are they gonna say but yes?
Yeah, right.
And then you're never going to hear from them again. You get what I'm saying? You're never going to hear from them again. I've had people. I had a guest come on one time. We were talking about like motivational speeches, and I remember I said, "Oh, you know, if you lay a brick consistently, you build a wall." Someone was like, "For real, you want to use that old cliche saying?" Pause. That was important to me. You get what I'm saying? Like, that was important to me. I'm sorry, Mr. Maverick, just because you got a child's book produced and you open up a school in Baltimore, like, don't come up here and like just, you feel me? Just rain on my parade and things like that. And what was so weird is like sometimes after you have guests, I would try to call the guests and say thank you for coming on the show. They would not answer the phone, and I would never hear from them again. So it's just like, what type of time were we on in that moment? So again, even when I started this, I didn't understand self-interest, right? And like building power. And when you build power, you can only build power if self-interest aligns, right? So even when it comes to that, it was just, I was doing a lot of things, and the only interest that we all had in common was the fact that people wanted to be on air. Like that's it, people want to be on air. And the best way to hold a conversation with someone, and people would think you're dynamic, just have them talk about themselves.
Ask questions.
You know what I'm saying? Like, ask questions.
She giving the game away, y'all.
It's a very real thing. I'm just saying, and they'll be like, "Oh my God, you're so awesome. I love you. I love your energy." You know nothing about me. You know nothing about me.
No.
All we did was literally talk about
you.
Right? Like, that's all we did. All we literally did was talk about you. I mean, I even had that situation with a few of my past situationships that I had. Like, the dude, I'll be like, "How's your day?" I'm telling you, son, just shoot off. Just start talking. And then after they've been talking for 45 minutes, they be like, "Well, wait. I feel like I've been talking this whole time. You have." Right. It's okay. And then that's why now it's like when I'm gone, people be like, "Oh, I miss your energy. Oh, I miss being." I bet because that's like, but you don't really know me. You know what I'm saying? It didn't take for me to be in a relationship that I'm in now for that person to know me, and for me to actually experience a healthy relationship. Key secret.
Come on now.
So it's just a point, you know, and I mean that was a process within itself. How many crazy relationships did I get to before I actually got somewhere that felt like home? You know what I'm saying? I'm not just saying that because he's saying it. That's the reality of the situation I had on. Because even when I first met him, we were being interviewed, and I promise you, I felt a spark. But this fool was engaged. And I was just like, "Oh God, you playing with me. You playing with me right now." Like, You feel me? I wasn't doing any interviews. I was producing and running the radio station. And my best friend found him, and she was like, "Oh, you want to interview him?" I'm like, "Okay." I didn't even know about Son. I didn't look him up. I didn't research him. I did no background work on him. I was like, we just gonna talk. And the whole time, like, we got on there, and we just started. It was good. Like, I spit a piece, he spit a piece. I was like, "Oh, you got me spitting on air." Like, that's the first. I never spit on air. You got me out here spitting poetry and dropping poems. Like, we were really going back and forth with that.
That's good.
But the conversation was just there. That connection was just there. But mind you, again, he was in a relationship. I was looking good that day because I just finished doing my poetry video. My face is beat to the floor. Yo, after the interview, someone was like, "All right, y'all, peace, deuces, left." He went home. I was like, "Okay." Thought I was never going to hear from him again. So it was just the whole thing. But then that relationship ain't work out. That engagement broke off. And then he randomly popped up. I fed him some spaghetti. And that's the ones out there.
It's not funny.
But you ate it, though. And y'all, it was literally, what's wrong, Pooh? You okay? You want to come over here? Come on. Sorry, we have a 3-year-old in the audience. It's a very, very real moment. You just want to be on camera? You want to say hi? Now you shy?
We got another special guest, y'all.
No. You want to say hi? Wave to the camera, Pooh.
No.
He's like,
She's like, she's not. It's
we
cool.
got it. It's okay. It's just gonna watch. But it just that turned into something else too. You feel me? But again, that was about trusting the process. And even within trusting that process, I haven't been talking to anybody. I was actually going on like that celibate streak because I was just tired of dealing with dudes. You get what I'm saying? Like just dealing with people because it was like females and dudes stuff with me. But I just didn't. I didn't feel like giving my energy like that anymore. You know, I like bestowing that upon anyone. And then I was also at that point, because I was definitely past 30. I was like, love that. Like, you feel me? It's just like, I'm going to love on me. I don't know if all that else is for me. I'm cool with being like a popping godmother and all that other stuff. I'm a rock. And then on top of that, I was like, I think I've been by myself too long anyway to even merge with someone. Because, man, when you by yourself, you have your own. I'm telling you, it's a whole new world. And then you go, huh? Who's been married? Y'all been married?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, hold on. How long we got married?
Oh, no. Yeah, no.
Okay, all right. It's about me.
But no, but she bring her point.
Yes.
She bring her point. You know what I'm
Valid
saying?
point that we
Yes.
both had to learn as divorcees.
Yes.
Appreciating the time by yourself
Exactly.
and getting to know you.
Yeah.
And when love comes, it'll come.
Yeah, that's a real thing. I think, I know for me, especially after we graduated college, I really feel like it was time to do that.
No, this is good stuff because it's funny because the two main things that people look up on entrepreneurship and love, relationships. You know what I'm saying? So you hitting both. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, well, I know when I was graduating college back in the day, a lot of people were getting married. That was a thing, like around 24 to get married. Right? Like, find the person you want, get married. But after taking a few psychology courses and understanding human development, So, after taking a few psychology and development courses, when it comes to that, it's like in your 20s, that is supposed to be your intimate stages. It's your intimacy or your isolation stages. And with that, you're building intimacy among yourself. And then you're also isolating yourself in order to learn yourself, right? Because if you don't take that time to understand yourself and to love yourself, then you're presenting this person you're getting married to with a half package. So you're not, it's not, and the thing is like when it comes to marriage, it's not supposed to be two halves coming together to create a whole. It's supposed to be two wholes coming together, right? Like, I want somebody who we can ignite the world on fire together with both of our sparks. I want someone who elevates me and anchors me at the same time. That's what I'm looking for, but I wouldn't have been able to figure that out if I didn't take that time for myself to really realize that, right? And I wouldn't extremely hard.
Conversations.
Uncomfortable conversations, uncomfortable moments, like irritation, all of those things. But I think the only thing that's been consistent is that I don't want to give up, right? And it's not even me, but both of us don't want to give up. And I think that's what has to happen in a healthy relationship. Because there'll be times where I'll be like, this stuff, right? And he'll come and he'll get me and like bring me back to center, and then there'll be times when he feels like that, and I have to bring him back to center. You feel me? So it's just like we both want this. And I remember when we first started talking, we agreed that we're going to remain present with one another. Because one thing I didn't want to do was start talking about the future. And the reason why I didn't want to talk about the future is because everybody I had been with or talked to previously before was like, oh, you my wife. I've been everybody's wife. Never had a ring, but I ain't been everybody's wife. You hear what I'm saying? And I was just tired of that. I was tired of being sold dreams. I was tired of dreams being the only thing that even fueled me to maintain and stay in a relationship. I didn't want that anymore. I wanted reality. I wanted that to be a real thing. So that's why when I first started talking to her, I was like, yo, let's just be present with one another. And like every day we wake up and we choose one another. Like, we're consistent with that, right? And I really think that's the only reason why we have made it this far. Because we do that daily. It's not even thinking about forever. I mean, do I hope that it lasts forever? Yes, I would love for that to happen. But I'm gonna focus on today. And by me focusing on today, when I look up, it will have turned into forever.
Come on now. You like poetry in motion. You know what I'm saying? That's good stuff right there. No, because I feel like what you said is a hit on the head. You know what I'm saying? Because I'll grab my girl.
No? You want some? You want that?
This is a 15-minute
We good. Hey, we gonna keep it moving. But yeah, no, listen. Having been divorced and whatnot, and thinking like it was pretty much over. I'm like, I'm 36, I got 3 kids, it's just done deal, right? Nah, God is good though, you know what I'm saying? And like you said, you gotta make a conscious. And I love how you said that because I got married at 22 years old, right? What are you doing at 22? You barely know the world. Well, how to let alone yourself. And I love how you said that you were half yourself. Now at 36, I'm like, I know myself now. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm coming to this thing with a whole different viewpoint, a whole different mindset. Like, no, you know what I'm saying? And knowing myself is a whole different aspect of how I approach things. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I love how y'all say y'all. You know what I'm saying? Y'all made a conscious decision. I'm making a conscious decision. You know what I'm saying? So that's beautiful right there. Beautiful stuff. You know what I'm saying? You just inspire me.
Yeah, definitely.
So thank y'all. So let me shout you this. So let's talk about the speakeasy or whatnot because I love that. I love what y'all doing. I love how y'all bring this to the community. But I want to talk more about that. Like how did that come to place?
To be honest, speakeasy wasn't even supposed to be what it is. And that's another thing. Like speakeasy, that's why I say it was divine because we kind of golden and flourished. It's like divinity in a sense. To be honest, I started speakeasy because I was running for Miss Black America, and I needed a stage to do my poetry. Because remember, I haven't been on stage in 8 years for the poetry, and this is what I'm saying. My talent is for this pageant, and I've never been in a pageant before, so I need somewhere to practice. So why wouldn't I practice in front of people who I know actually love me and care about me and support me before I do it in front of an audience that is probably going to criticize and ridicule me, boo me, tell me to get off the stage, right? So that's what I was thinking in my head. So the first speakeasy happened in August, and again, that was just me standing up there rehearsing the poem that I was going to spit for Miss Black America. So the pageant came, I ended up winning Miss Black America DC. And so I came back, and I was like, oh, we can keep doing this. And I was like, I'm calling it speakeasy. And it was funny because my mentor, Freeman, the one who owns Reality Radio, he was like, oh, my first podcast, we said speak easy and go hard. And I was like, oh, for real? He was like, yeah, because you speak easy, but you gotta go hard. And I was like, oh, that's mine. Thank you. And so that's why that's our call now. So we be like, speak easy, go hard, right? And it became that call, but that was in September. And my experience with Miss Black America is that they still did not provide a stage for you to be unapologetically authentic. And the thing is with a lot of spaces in this world is that it's cookie cutter or it's like a molding effect, right? Like you have to fit into the mold of this. You have to fit into this type of image for this brand or for this narrative. But when can you actually just be unapologetically authentic? And some of the feedback I got why I didn't win the national Miss Black America is because I was too black for Miss Black America, right?
So
Too black.
Nah, it's a real
that's a real thing.
It's a real thing. The email I wrote to them was not a nice one because I was like, I don't appreciate how y'all are pimping out y'all people for the purpose of a pageant. You get what I'm saying? It was worded very nicely. That's I mean, so yes, I do utilize words to like pack a punch, but in a nice way. I don't have to curse at you or degrade you, but I can still tell you about
The point
yourself.
across though.
Yeah, you feel me? I think I said something about adolescent minds being trapped in elderly bodies or something along those lines.
Dangerous.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit. They just, I've been an issue since 8th grade. Miss Hampton said it. She was like, your words can cut.
Yeah.
I don't think you understand your power. And shout out to Miss Hampton. But it's just, but it was really Maya Angelou who got me writing because it was a poster on the wall. The thing said, and the quote was, you may write me down in history with your bitter, twisted lies. You may try me in the very dirt, but still like dust I will rise. And I was like, oh! I was like, that's fire! I was like, that's what's up! I was like, here we go! I was like, oh, I can write something like that! I can write something like that! So, again, that was all Miss Hampton's English class that I learned that going back to the past. But even with that, so that's why Speakeasy, I was like, oh, I'm going to create a space where we can be unapologetically authentic. Boom. First Speakeasy took place September 28th, 2018. So we were like, let's go, we here. But then, I would say, about a week later, October 10th, 2018, my best friend was murdered here. And she was taken due to gun violence. And I had never had anybody take it from me in that sense, right? And she has 4 of my god kids. So now 4 of my god kids are grown up without a mom. And that was a lot to me because again, it didn't compute. Right. Tierra's death didn't compute in my brain. Y'all know how y'all turn the TV on, it's like that black and white fuzz?
Yeah, right.
Literally, that's how my brain was because our best friend Crystal called me at 3 in the morning. The thing is, we've all been friends since we were 5. It's like, and that's like real friendship. You get what I'm saying? And Tierra's like, that's my best friend. They don't create friends like that anymore. Like that was my ride. You feel me? Like anything going down, she right there with me, no questions asked. Boom, 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 and that's just what it was. Even if we didn't talk for some years, we would still pick right back up where we left off. It never stopped. And so when it comes to things like that, and to have somebody like that, when she called me at 3 o'clock in the morning, I was like, my brain went dead. I screamed in my apartment. Like I'm talking about no holds barred, like full on scream. Nobody knocked on my door, so that made me think about the safety of my neighborhood or my apartment building. Like I could get murdered and nobody would come knocking on my door. But I was also just running around the house in circles because I didn't know what to do. I couldn't find no pants. I couldn't find my car keys. I was sitting there really trying to figure out, like, yo, I gotta go. Like all my brain was saying was go, because I'm in Washington D.C. at this time. I had to get back to Cleveland. Like, how am I about to get back to Cleveland? Like, what's going on? So I had to take a moment. But again, I still didn't know how to process grief. I didn't. And in our community, especially, we don't process grief. We are told to be strong. And we quote unquote numb our feelings with this weird twisted idea. Like that's a way of being strong, but it's not.
Right.
That's stupidity at its finest. And I mean, but it is. And like we live off of corporate America telling us we only get 3 to 5 days to grieve because of that bereavement, right? It's like take your time, go smoke and drink for 3 days, and then go back to work because people want to go and tell you that's life. People want to tell you life
strong, but it doesn't. Life as I know it is not going to continue. Like, my best friend is no longer here.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Do you understand that? Her kids are about to grow up without her. Like, life has literally fundamentally altered for so many people. And why did it alter? Because somebody who had a gun did not have the emotional intelligence to not utilize a permanent solution for a temporary problem. So, again, when you look into things like that, when you try to unpack those things, right, it's just like, what can we do? So that's why Speak Easy then became trauma relief for the soul. Because I had Speak Easy that next October, because Speak Easy was the fourth Friday of every month, right, down in D.C. And a lot of people didn't think I was going to keep doing Speak Easy. Because again, like I said, after that happened, I wasn't talking to nobody. My brain was shut off. I didn't want to talk to nobody. I was looking at friends, down in D.C. I'm not from there, but it's all about like proximity relationships.
Yeah.
You cool with someone because you're in close proximity to them. So it's just like, do I really have those real friends? Where are those real friends? Where are those substantial, filled with substance relationships?
Yeah.
Where are those? And I was giving the side eye to everybody because nobody was of substance as far as I was concerned. I just lost my substance. I was mad. I didn't like it. Okay, pineapples. But I got up there at the next speakeasy because we dedicated to people who had lost someone to gun violence. We dedicated to that. And when I stood up on stage, that's when I understood the healing power of speakeasy. Just being up on stage and being able to express myself and to release my feelings in a positive way that did not involve me picking up an AK. You feel me? I think that was the part that I found helpful for speakeasy. And again, just going back to the ignorance and not having the words to really even express what speakeasy is. 5 years later, I can now say speakeasy is a catharsis, open mic style situation to where we utilize the stage for people to be unapologetically authentic, to release stagnant and repressed and stuck emotions so they can become fully back into a human, so they can produce positive, regard, unconditional positive regard for the world. And that's deeper than love because that's accepting people from where they are. That's understanding and meeting them there so that they can actually channel, and then understanding like, oh, this is art therapy. When it comes to art therapy allows people to combine their mental, their physical, and their soul to create a deeper healing, right? And that is essentially what Speakeasy does. We also ended up creating our curriculum called LOVE, which stands for Listen, Observe, Vibe, and Effect, which is a social emotional leadership workshop that teaches people how to manage their emotions and establish a sense of self. Because again, when it comes to gun violence, and when you experience something like that, you can lose yourself. Or even if you still choose to pick up a gun, that means you're not managing your emotions correctly, right? So now we're trying to do prevention within our curriculum. So it's like Speakeasy, the commentator event that we had, that is a catharsis open mic strategy, that is basically like helping with the aftermath of gun violence. But love is the prevention to help create and to interrupt violence. That's what we're looking for. So Speakeasy is really prevention and intervention rolled into one. And that's why when we came into the Zen Zone, I just wanted to create the Zen Zone last year because, again, where do we have spaces to produce, right? And we all understand the healing power of nature. So what the Zen Zone does is it combines the power of nature and the power of art therapy to help really heal the soul. And that's why we're creating the Zen Zones. And I think we're doing a dope job. And I mean, we have to be because we just got 2 proclamations from the Ohio Senate and from the Ohio House of Representatives. Right? So, I mean, the price is going up. But it's just the fact that we have state recognition from Ohio. And Speakeasy in this 5th year, we're now in Washington, D.C., Cleveland, and New York. So we're in 3 cities doing this work, and we're just growing. Even with New York, it happened because Amarachi, my program director in New York, she hit me up on Instagram and was like, yo, Speakeasy is dope. Have you ever thought about coming to New York? I was like, no. She was like, what do you need? I need a venue, and I need a team on the ground. And so that's how that started happening. And I got my team in New York, I had my team in D.C., and I had my team here.
So a lot of people, again, they don't see that back end. Right? They probably don't know that speakeasies in 3 cities. You feel me? And they don't understand how hard it is. Or challenging, because it is challenging, y'all. Like, I legit been running speakeasy off of a bag of Skittles, a shoestring, and a paper clip. You feel me? And it's just, and sometimes I ask myself, like, how is this about to happen? Like, how is this about to happen? You know, and I had to, like, go and pray to God at one point in time, even for this speakeasy coming up in DC. Because, fun fact, speakeasy is my full-time job. I'm not necessarily, I'm not working for nobody. I am my boss, right? Because I have to give my full energy into speakeasy. But at the same time, that means that I'm only working off of contracts, which means I'm working off of one lump sum that comes in, and then I have to extend that lump sum for at least 3 months to have all the bills and everything else paid for to make sure I'm covered until that next check is coming through. And honestly, I don't know what the next check is coming through. So we got a joint coming up in DC on July 27th, and I'm sitting here like, oh, the bank of LJM right now is currently, you know, so where's this money about to come from? Because I have to pay my staff, I have to do these things, right? But I had to have an honest conversation with my team down there, my program director, bless her soul. She was like, the money is good with me, you don't have to pay me this time, right? And then on top of that, another funder came through to pay for the DJ. And then we found another way to where we don't have to pay for a photographer, but we found how we can turn it so that the audience becomes our photographers. And so we can get more authentic pictures that way. So again, it worked out, but I still had to say to God, like, yo, I know for a fact you did not bring us this far for me not to have the resources for this to be successful. Because again, speak easy, that's the ancestors' will, that's God's will, right? Like, speak easy is legit the space where you can come into contact with the frequency known as God. And that's what that is for. That's why it's so healing. We got our data back from DC and Cleveland, and we got 100% yes when they say speak easy heals from trauma. So we have our data saying that we are impactful, saying that we do these things. I have the numbers to prove it. So again, how can I do this when necessarily the funding doesn't match, right? But again, you have to be consistent. You have to see it through. If I just went and said, oh, I'm going to cancel it, it would have never worked out. So now we're still holding it we're still holding Speakeasy in DC, and it turned out to be free. Because we got the in-kind donation for our venue space. We got the funding to pay for the DJ. And we got the camera equipment that'll work for the audience to take. So we basically have everything we need. But those are just some of the challenges 5 years later that we still experience. And even with more challenges too, it's like, I don't know if y'all know this, but in the philanthropic world, I believe that's the right way to say it, or the nonprofit world, they have a high turnover rate within those funding positions, right? And so what does that mean for speaking? That means if I meet the one person who's in charge of the money and they're like, oh my God, you're super dope, here's $5K to throw speakeasy. That come next year, that person is no longer in that job anymore, right? So where can I go in order to maintain that type of funding? So that's why when it comes to funding these types of things, it's always something new. And people, again, they don't think about that. They don't look into that. Like, it's real easy to run an entity in one city. Trust me, I've done it, and I was mad successful, and it was epic. But now being expanded into 3 cities, how are we about to do this? How is this about to work? I had to take a book out of a presidential campaign. So Speak Easy runs like a presidential campaign. We have a national team, and then we have state teams. And that's just how it has to work in order for us to be successful. And again, I didn't know this because, like I said, I started Speak Easy just off the humbug so I can have a stage. So I should perform for Miss Black America. I didn't think that it would become like this. So, yeah, we definitely go hard.
But the fact that it evolved, though, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, it started with one portion, and now it's, and shout out to you and Walton, like, different programs that are eligible to us as a community to be able to heal from our trauma, to be able to look at different ways to, you know what I'm saying, like, deal with the thing we're dealing with as a community. So shout out to y'all, you know what I'm saying? We need more of it. You know what I'm saying? So get this funding together, y'all. You know what I'm saying? We need more of it.
I'm just saying it's a very real thing.
No, that's real. That's real. 'Cause we need it. And we
need it.
We need to heal the community. You know what I'm
And
saying?
grants are coming through. I mean, we got the Zen Zone because we got a grant from Moms Demand. So Moms Demand gave us a grant. So I got to pay myself some grant money. That's the other thing. You know, on TV where you see an artist and they're like, oh, I got this grant. I can work on this project and things like that. That's very real.
Yeah.
You need that grant to pay for the material.
Yeah.
And then in that, you have to write yourself in the grant to pay yourself. And that's another thing, too, that I don't think we do when we are even thinking about projects. Sometimes we won't pay ourselves. But it's like, I have to write myself in as the program director.
Oh, so that's a whole gym right there.
Yeah, you have to consider yourself because passion will only take you so far. I mean, that's the reality.
No title.
But seriously, it will. You have to get paid. Because if you're not comfortable, and I say this to the universe all the time, like, look, ancestors, I know y'all got this idea for me. I know I want to walk in alignment with you. I want my steps to be in alignment with your will. But in order for me to achieve that, I have to be comfortable. And it has to come to me in grace and perfect ways, right? The only thing I want to force is a rubber band around some money. I don't want to force anything else because if I force something and it's not aligned with God's will, then I'm going to experience unnecessary trials and tribulations that I wouldn't have to experience if I would have just went where I was supposed to go, right? Like, I don't want to fit in. I want to go somewhere where my space is already made. That's not my goal to fit in. I will build my own table of wealth from which my people can produce from generationally. And that's my goal in all of this too. But I also learned without this experience is that, what's the saying? You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink, right? That's real things. I used to be Captain Saberho. Like, I'm so serious. Like, I'm gonna come home. I'm gonna tell everybody it's concentrated areas of poverty. I'm gonna show them this and this and this. I'm gonna give them all these resources, but they're not gonna take it or they're not there. You get what I'm saying? Like, they're not there mentally to take what I'm trying to give them. Like, again, even as simple as a podcast, right? How many people are like, oh, I want a podcast. Buy all this fancy equipment, get their cameraman, get their outfits laid out, and then what? How many shows? Exactly.
Can't sell your home and tired of carrying that load? Drop the house. Gutter Properties will buy your house as is with offers up to $300,000. Need serious repairs, liens, taxes, or judgments? We'll work through your unique situation to get that house off your back. During your free, no-obligation appraisal, we maintain social distancing and take every precaution to ensure your experience is safe. Drop the house. Gutter Properties. Call us or visit gutterproperties.com today.
Most podcasts will make it past episode 50. It's that.
You feel me?
You know what I'm saying?
Past 10. I was gonna say past 10. Not even getting to 50 past 10. It's just, so that's why it becomes that important again to trust the process. Like, trusting yourself, like believe in yourself. I mean, there's been times too where I didn't believe in myself. It was like, yo, can you really do this, bro? Like, is this a real thing? And it's like, yeah, I'm gonna do it anyway. You feel me? And that's why, yeah, man, you just gotta trust the process.
So imagine how you overcome those bouts when you feel like, you know what I'm saying, you weren't up to the challenge.
I mean, I'm keeping it 100. I have imitated puddles on the ground before. You know what I'm saying? Like, just looking up like, like, what's happening? What's going on? I don't get it. I don't get it. I mean, I'm gonna tell y'all, I just got out the hospital, right? So like, even coming here, I think I changed my clothes like 5 times. I was exhausted. I was exhausted, and I didn't even feel like myself. Like, I wrote down before this show started, like, yo, I feel weird because I don't feel 100% like myself right now, right? But I also couldn't breathe 3 days ago to the fullest. There's a thing called acquired asthma. Like, you're not born with it, but apparently you can acquire asthma, and that means your lungs don't agree with the environment, i.e. Cleveland's air is trash.
Yeah.
So you know, so I'm sitting here and I'm just like, oh, I don't feel like myself, and I don't know, maybe I had like a false reality when I like left the hospital and I got into my car. I would be like, oh, I'm fully back into myself.
Yeah.
And no, that wasn't the case. Like walking up the stairs was hard. You get what I'm saying? Like so much is like falling on him because now he got to cook, he got to clean, he got the baby, he has to take care of the baby. You know what I'm saying? So again, it comes down to like having a strong partner and having that team. And shout out to him because he has cooked great meals these past few days. You know what I mean? It was real. Like I don't know what he did to this salmon that he had made, but oh my God, it was divine. I'm just saying, he even made some grits.
I'll hit you up next time. I got sometime.
It's a very real thing, right? But while he's doing all this, I'm just laying there. I'm asleep. I've been getting in sleep for the past 2 days. I was asleep even when we pulled up here. When we leave here, I'm most likely going to end up going back to sleep. But it's again, it's always going to be different pockets. I don't think it's ever going to be like, oh, everything is great and I'm not going to have self-doubt. I have to be realistic about that, right? But one thing about not being able to breathe, it puts a lot of things into perspective, right? And for me, it put into perspective the things that I take for granted, such as breathing. Like, how many of us take breathing for granted?
Right.
Because we do it all the time. We wake up, we go to sleep breathing, right? You don't think about it until you can't do it. So that also made me think too, like how much of my breath have I wasted? And how much of my breath have I not utilized properly? How many times have I showed up to spaces and I wasn't fully present in those spaces, right? And by me not being present, I fortified my gift, which is being present and just being in the moment and being able to take that experience in. And it really just had me reassert things. And I know one thing about me, I'm either going to inspire or I'm going to intimidate. And I try really, really hard. But no, seriously, it's like I try really hard not to intimidate. That used to be one of my big things. Like, oh, I don't want to intimidate. I don't want to make people feel bad because I have a very large presence. I get it. But I also know too, if I intimidate you, then that means you got some internal work to do on yourself. And that has nothing to do with me again, because that just comes back to the whole factor that everybody is just trying to figure it out. And because you don't have to figure it out, your ego is trying to cover it up. So now you're projecting your insecurities onto me, and that has nothing to do with me. So your attitude towards me, that is just a reflection of your attitude towards yourself because you're not where you want to be. So I don't have to take that personal, which therefore means I no longer have to make myself digestible. As far as I'm concerned, you can choke. And that's just on God. That's just on God because these are all real things. I'm no longer compartmentalizing myself to make other people comfortable. I'm no longer going to play it small because I'm new to the area or to the situation. No, I'm going to show up as my full self the first time. And if you can't accept that, then that means this is not where I'm supposed to be. Because what's for me is for me. What's mine is mine. And no matter what anyone does, you cannot take away anything that is meant for me. So that's just, so again, I just feel like maintaining that mentality, for me, especially after this situation, is going to put me in a better space, so to speak. Not to really be so, as my lungs were so tight and closed off, but to be open and to be free flowing and to be unapologetically authentic in that free flowingness. She's sleeping. It's not time.
No, she's not asleep. She's just being her breakfast.
Listen, you are a master of words. I'm not gonna lie to you. And like what you saying, I'm like, dang. And I thought about myself how often I have to do those very things. You know what I'm saying? You think of business. I don't want to intimidate this person. You know. So you know what I'm saying? You kind of dial down. You trying to dial back and all that good stuff, right? But you right, man. Let them choke. You know what I'm saying? They'll be all right. They'll be all right. They'll be all right. That's good stuff right there. All right. So we talk about the past, talk about the present, talk about the future. What does the future hold for you? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, she did. She definitely did.
Greatness.
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 My button was broke for me.
As far as I'm concerned, for me, greatness is inevitable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I really just want to enjoy the journey. I'm not even really thinking about the destination anymore. I'm not even worried about that. I really want to just be present.
Yeah.
My whole focus is really just be present, be here with y'all. Listen, just
We
talk.
appreciate you, by the way.
I was
Yeah.
hoping they released me because I was in the hospital yesterday and they looking at me like, oh, you still wheezing when you breathe in and when you breathe out. And I was like, I'm gonna try to keep me here again. I know this ain't jail. Like, is this like a weekend type thing where I'm not gonna get released till Monday? Like, what's happening? What's going on? I've been in jail too. It's not fun. It's not even Don't do it. Don't do it. So.
We definitely appreciate you know this message was needed, you know what I'm saying? So this is all God right here, because like I said, you know what I'm saying, we see like I like Michelle, make sure let's reach out to her, let's make sure she alright, you know what I'm saying, make sure she's good. And like I said, we appreciate you coming on and whatnot. And like I said, backstory y'all, so back in the day when I used to do the scheduling, I messed up. So I want to appreciate Elle for coming back, you know what I'm saying, forgiving us and coming back to the pull-up experience, so thank you, by the way.
But I understand though.
Yeah,
You
I
told me
appreciate that.
multiple guests and things like that. And I think I told you like mistakes happen.
Yeah.
I don't really trip over that.
I appreciate it. Some people have.
Some do.
Some
Trust me, I've been there. People, but that's the part of the backwardness of our culture. Like, and I feel like that gets taught to us as late as elementary school. Like, how else are we supposed to learn if we don't make mistakes? Come on. I bet money you'll never spell my name wrong again.
I will not. I will not. I will not.
But if I came at you crazy though, right?
I appreciate that.
Where would our relationship be? It would be eroded. I would never pull up again. You feel me? Like I would not have this experience. So it's just like, what's the real intention behind it? Is the intention to come on here and have a dope dialogue with y'all, or is it to be like, get my name right? It's not. It's never.
We have been
It's
a
never-
couple people, but you know what I'm saying? It's cool. But they said like the ego comes into play, but like you said, it's what's the overall message trying to do? You know what I'm saying? Mistakes are made, and you never lie. I ain't gonna mess up again.
And it's just, I mean, it's just like that. But I'm honored that y'all even asked me.
Oh no, come on now. Yeah.
I'm psyched that y'all even looked and saw my work and was like, yo, come on. And see, that's been the other thing to me too for consistency. Like, I've been going into meetings with like new funders and partners, and the first thing out their mouth is, oh, I know about speakers. I know about all the great work you do. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going into meetings now with people telling me what they know about speakers versus me trying to pitch to them what speakeasy is. That's powerful. And the last meeting I had, they were telling me how it was a student who put them on. Because then a student asked them, like, well, when you having another speakeasy? And I was like, well, what's speakeasy? And the student went into in-depth about what speakeasy was. You feel me? So it's like, I'm not the only spokesperson out there anymore for it, but it's still about how you carry yourself. Like, what is your mission? How does that happen? And I mean, again, I don't do this work. I say that in one of my poems. I say, I am the store. So I'll never sell out. Meaning, I ain't doing this for clout. Like, I'm never going to be chasing clout to do these things. I don't have to do that because I know who I am. I know what I'm doing. I don't need validation. Validation is only good for parking. So,
It's like eight different times, bro. I need that one.
but that's very real. And
That's good.
I think we really have to sit in that space and dwell in that space. Like, we are taught not to dwell in our greatness. We are taught not to dwell in our godliness. We are taught not to channel our godliness. We are taught to try to fit in, to get in, and that's not how this world is going to work. That's why now we're like the 14th generation, probably the 12th generation. I say 14 because people have been born after me. things are just stagnant and stuck.
No, that's good stuff. And like I said, I know for me, when I seen your work and whatnot, and like I didn't know about you in camp, but I seen your work and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? All right, man, we gotta get her on and whatnot. Cause I'm not good at the work. I'm good at questions. And I seen your work. I'm like, okay, we gotta get her on and whatnot. And I think what Speak Easy with you is that in Cleveland, you know what I'm saying? I ain't saying Cleveland desert, but Cleveland.
It is a desert.
Listen. And when you see oases of people who are trying to do something worthwhile, healing, empowerment, inspiration, you got to, you know what I'm saying, you gotta reach out to those things, you know what I'm saying, because it inspires the rest of us, you know what I'm saying? So I appreciate you coming on. I know our audience appreciate you coming on because you've been in the gym at the gym. You know what I'm saying? So we appreciate you. Yeah, absolutely. That's how I think it might be there. But it is what it is, you know what I'm saying? So, okay, so I got a question for you. And then now we get into the simple question. I don't know if you we'll just show you all these simple questions you ask your guests, but like here, I like to, I'm gonna make, by the way, Steve, I'll make a note. I'm gonna make a montage of everyone who asked this question before and be able to like do like a little thing on it or whatnot, right?
Shout out to Steve.
Shout out to Steve. Shout out to Steve. Steve is the man. I don't know if y'all know Steve is the man. You know what I'm saying? He's the greatest photographer, videographer of all time. You know what I'm saying? Y'all need some work done. Please hit him, my man. Steve, alienize, okay? I think this question fits for you because you are a massive collaborator. But unfortunately, our city killer says the desert collaboration is not nowhere known for it. Like Atlanta, New York. Like you said, you're doing collaboration all around. You know what I'm saying? Other than Cleveland. You know what I'm saying? What do you think we need to do as a community, as a people, to be able to change stigma for our city? Yeah,
Good
Good
old Cleveland.
old Cleveland.
I can honestly say Cleveland is probably the hardest place I've ever had to work.
Wow.
And I was born here.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But it's the mentality. You feel me? Like, when I'm down in Washington, D.C., I'm just me. There's nothing.
Yeah.
I come up here, I'm a light-skinned chick with nappy hair.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
and you're light skin. And like, yeah, I remember the first time I moved home and somebody addressed me and said, I was like, what? I'm like, y'all still doing that?
Right.
Like, colorism is still a thing here. Like, colorism is still a thing here. And it's like, y'all still uphold light skinned people. Like,
Right.
that's important. Like,
Right.
that's a little weird. I mean, for me, I'm biracial. So just a little bit background story. My mommy is black. My daddy is Puerto Rican, right? And the thing is on my mommy's side, I was too light to be black.
Wow.
And on my daddy's side, I was too dark to be Puerto Rican. Like,
Wow.
over there, I'm considered dark skinned. Like,
Wow.
my father's side, they're like,
Your complexion was like that.
it's a very real thing. And so, it's just, where did I ever really fit in at, right? Like, where was really my place? And I didn't, that's why when people ask me, like, what are you? I just say black. Because I've always lived a black experience.
Right.
But because
Right.
I'm light skinned, people want to question my blackness. That's just so weird to me. Like, how would you question my blackness?
Yeah.
All of this because you have some crazy thought in your head that I have this privilege.
Right.
The reality is, for me and my
This
experience,
Spanish, man.
that privilege has been opposite. I wrote a poem called Pretty, and it was like, nobody ever talks about the opposite effects of being pretty. How you have to battle fire-breathing dragons, the manifestations of other people's insecurities, right? And I have entered that into every job. Like, I go into a job, if the head honcho is a lady, she feels some type of way, she mad. I know I'm pretty. That's cool. Genetics. Shout out to my parents. But it's just like, I have no control over that.
Yeah.
And, you know, and I don't enter into the space like, oh, because I look like this, I'm better than you. I don't do those things. And I don't carry myself
Right.
like that. So again, why would I do that? And I've never looked at skin tone. Like, my grandmother, she was dark skinned. And she would go out and she would tell me how she would get hated on for being dark skinned. My grandmother is the first person I've ever loved with all of my heart. You feel me? So again, I don't see that colorism. I guess I've been blinded to that in a sense because of my family dynamic.
Yeah.
So when people think I'm entering into somewhere, and we all know people do that in light skin. That's a very real thing. That's a very real thing, right? But that's not me. I don't have light skinned tendencies. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to hate on nobody. But it's just I know I don't carry myself like that. And I don't enter into spaces with a big ego.
And that's my goal, for
Yeah.
me to be the best version of myself. And I just encourage everyone to enter into every space being your best self. If you show up being your best self, then you're not going to be worried about anyone else. You're not going to be thinking about anyone else. But if you show up if you show up half-ass, right? Because you woke up that morning like, oh, who am I getting dressed for? I ain't got nobody to impress. Or who am I doing this for? Yourself, boo. Yourself. Like, yourself, baby. Yourself. And it's like, I ask people, I do like this class, I ask people to write down 5 things they love and who they do it for. You would be, it's crazy how many people do not include themselves in them 5 things. Or their self is last.
Right.
Or like I said, not even on the paper. And it's like, how are you functioning without self? How are you moving without self? It's unnatural.
Yeah.
It doesn't correlate. It doesn't correspond. It doesn't do anything, because again, you cannot move without self. So why would you not pour into self? Why would you not try to be your best self? It is okay to be selfish.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing, people always see selfish as like a negative aspect. But that's called boundaries. That's called self-love. Like, you have to do those things, right? My homie, Krishna Farmer, she just posted a whole bunch of stuff. And I love the way how she is able to verbalize and break down big ideas into like tangible pieces for people to digest. And it's just simple. She was like, 1, I'm not going to do things I don't want to do. Like, if you don't feel like going somewhere, she's like, I'm not going to go. And how easy is that? How many times do we make ourselves go somewhere that we don't want to go because we feel like we need to be there?
Right.
You don't need to be there. The only place you need to be is where you want to be. And if it's not there, don't go. So it's just as simple as putting yourself first. Like, even with boundaries, right? If you're resting, why answer your phone? Why do those things? And like, she said that, and I promise you, I felt like that for the past 3 days. My phone had just been ringing off the hook and everything else, but I'm tired. I don't want to talk. I hear my phone ringing and buzzing, and I'm just like, well, I'm sleeping right now. Well, I'm just laying here, not doing anything. I'm gonna get to that phone later, right? But she points that out about doing that. Like I said, Kristen Farmer, she's a dope individual. I should totally follow her. She is I am Kristen on Instagram, and she is like, I guess a spiritual guide in a sense. I don't want to label her because she's that dynamic, but she's really putting things into perspective for people to understand themselves on a deeper level, and that's the type of work that we need. We need people who try to do that. Even like, shout out to Aisha Watkins, who founded Kicking It With My Homegirls, right? I hope I got that right.
She's coming on with a pack over the way.
Okay, you feel me? She's fire. So it's just like her creating that space for homegirls. You feel me? It's just, and I get happy. I might be corny, but I get so happy, y'all, when I see people doing their thing. Like Sparrow's Fortune right now, they nailing it. Just cause, and Morgan Page, they just dropped a dope album called Bare in the Flesh. That's fire. Walt is out there winning awards.
Oh yeah. Shout out to Walt, man.
You feel me? Aharon, y'all gotta get him on here too.
Okay, man.
He's a farmer, like, and that's important. Like, how do we know how to grow our own food? That man just grew some vegetables, y'all. Like, I promise you, I don't know if it was some cabbage or some greens, but that joint is bigger than your body. Like, you can hide behind a leaf, and it's not GMO. Like, it is grown. He's doing amazing work down there at the Ridolph Farm. So again, people are out here doing dynamic things. Like, even my mentor and my partner in change, Miss Michelle, who's in charge of Impact, right? She's so dope just because she's like one of the first people I've ever encountered that makes space for me. Like, and she makes space for me to be great. She's never tried to hinder me. She's never tried to do any of that. She legit just lets me shine as bright as I possibly can. And she edges me on to do more. And it's just like, I never thought.
We all need that.
I never thought I would find that, right? But no, we do need that because she's an earlier generation than me. She's technically my elder. But it's just the point to have an elder bestow that type of belief in me, that just makes me want to go harder. And it's like, I can go to her when I'm confused.
and have these conversations with her, and she can give me back great advice, and she can agree with me when I'm calling somebody a weirdo, because there's some weirdos out there. But again, they're not really weird. They just trying to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? Like, so again, that's the real thing. Because like you can be so harsh on the people, but people have different ways that are cries for help.
Yeah.
And people don't know how to ask for help. That's one thing we don't know how to do is ask for help, right? And instead of having like a harsh lens on them and calling them weirdos, it's just like, oh baby, you really just don't know what you're doing. And it's okay. And you don't know how to ask for help because I've been there. I didn't want to ask for help because if I ask for help, then that means I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
If I don't know what I'm doing, then that means I look weak. And if I look weak, why would you believe in what I'm doing in the first place? And why would you want to give me any funding or hop on? It's a whole bunch that goes into it.
Right.
And so again, that's why it's just, and she's the one who actually gave me that perspective to even look at things like that, right? But that's why it's important to have people around you who can agree with you, but also provide you with a different lens to view things.
I don't know, but she be dropping the gym like left and right tonight. You know what I'm saying?
Recorded, so you got
Yeah, that's right. Play it back, do what you do, because like I'm saying, listen, like that's good right there. You know what I'm saying? And you pouring into me right now. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate you.
I mean, but I just like being surrounded by dope people. You feel me? Even Ashley B, she calls her.
She's coming on this too.
Yo, I'm telling you, y'all, all these people inspired. You feel me? She got a dope event coming up on July 22nd. Y'all should totally check that out. But it's just like, just seeing these people do their work. You feel me? Seeing these people moving their power. And Ashley B, yo, she is a force to be reckoned with.
Look forward to how you on, Ashley.
Like, yo, I'm telling you, and I ain't gonna lie, when I first met Ashley B, I was giant intimidated. I was like, oh. But the thing is, like, she inspired me to just come and be my full self. Because when Ashley B showed up, don't forget to be.
Yeah, don't forget to be. She let it be known.
Respect on her name. Like, when she shows up, she shows up.
Yeah.
And the way what she does with her daughter, Ziki Pro, like, oh my God, son, like, she shows, like, the idealness of being a mom. And just giving that support just to her child in the first place. And she wants to do that for all the kids. She calls herself the spiritual godmother. Like, and she's there. And it's just, again, it's so many dope people in Cleveland doing their thing. And it's really just about collaboration, you know? But it's also about just getting people on the same page. But it's also just about that community. You feel me? I mean, I'm pretty sure there's a bunch of people, they'll come on here, they just talk about themselves. I'm pretty sure I just sat here and talked about like 10 people.
You did.
All the greatness they did,
dope,
right? But that's because I'm really excited for them, and I'm really happy for them because they are, I'm going to do it again, I'm sorry, but they are fucking awesome. Like, they are, and they deserve their flowers in real time, and people be so scared to give their flowers. So it's like, I know for a fact for me, I'm about community. I know what community means to me. Community means I'm going to plug in anybody when I get a chance to plug them in. Do I expect the same return? I'm not even looking for nothing.
Right.
It's just legit. I'm literally just happy for their success. I'm just happy for them doing their thing. Like, and I'm genuinely happy for them. But I also feel like people can't do that because they're not genuinely happy for themselves. And I'm only able to be happy for them because I'm genuinely happy with my life. I have a great life. I love my life, especially, again, not being able to breathe. Put some things in perspective. I have a great life. You feel me? Like, my life is beautiful. People want my life. They pray for my life. I pray for my life. You get what I'm saying? And I realize, like, I pray for freedom all the time, and that's to wake up and do whatever I see beneficial to me daily. And I do that every day. I have freedom. And it's like, I didn't realize I had that until I couldn't breathe. And I was like, yo, I have the things that I prayed for. When am I giving gratitude for me manifesting for the things that I prayed for? When am I doing that? And I realized that I haven't been doing that enough. I haven't been in a position of gratitude enough. I've just been like, going. What's the next thing? You already there. Like, why are you searching for the next
And I'm also not going to get this time and this space again. So why wouldn't I just sit here and be grateful in this moment and see all this? Because when I do get older, when I do become 92, I'm going to realize this was this moment.
Yeah.
The moment that I'm looking for, this is prime time. This is everything I wanted. It's about the climb up. It's about the journey. Because when you get to the destination, it's over. So,
Listen. This has been one fire episode. I'll tell you that.
145,
145. Listen,
that equals a 10.
listen, I want to shout you out because, like you said, we're on episode 145. We are booked all the way until like November now. And we're not slowing down anytime soon. That's going to show the power of what we have in the city of people, great people doing do great things, you know what I'm saying? So I want to shout our city and great people like you, great people like Cam, great people like, you know what I'm saying, everyone who's been on this far, because once again, we're not slowing down anytime soon. Either Cleveland's getting better, or we just like, we recognizing stuff that wasn't recognized before. One of the two, you know what I'm saying?
We're building our own community.
No, facts. Facts.
I think we're a community that's not about gatekeepers.
No, not at all.
And once we realize that it's more of us than gatekeepers, those gates will never exist again.
That's why we built the pocket off that very principle alone, though. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, before this, I ain't saying we changed the sign, but I like to think that, because before this, you think about entrepreneurship, you think about somebody doing very clear, there's only so many names that came up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Now we like, and now I love seeing that people we have on podcasts, now you do other podcasts. Now they get the recognition they deserve, because they deserve it. You do even know great things in the city, so much shit. You are inspiring, you are empowering, and you are educating people on what you do, and you're blazing that path for others. So why not get recognition? So I thank God for really that. So my next question to you, L, when it comes to legacy, I know everyone said legacy. Anyone listen to Jay-Z 444 knows what we're talking about. But like this question, like I said, comes from watching Nipsey Hussle interview. He talked about all the great things he want to do, and he not only accomplished it, he exceeded that joint, right? So the question to you, what do you want the legacy to be for you? And then what do you want from be everything attached like speaking to the Zen Palace legacy? So what do you want the legacy to be?
Love. Everybody needs love.
That's why our curriculum is called Love. It's really just about love for self. If
Yeah.
you have love for yourself, that will radiate outward.
Yeah.
And your environment will reflect that. They say if you smell at the universe will smell back, right? So that's all I want is for people to be able to smell at the universe, so the universe can be a reflection of that smile.
Yeah.
And that's really what it is. My purpose is really just here to heal. I think Ashada Shakur has said it. I can't quote her, but she discussed about how, I don't know if she called us revolutionary warriors or like unprecedented warriors, but the thing is like, we take up this mantle of being a warrior and trying to create change because we need to. But let's just say if I didn't have to fight for my people, what would I do? I promise you I would be a baker somewhere writing poetry and painting and on a beach.
Yeah.
Right? Like, because how did we get birthed into a planet that provided us with so much food to the point that we botched it up, so now we got a credit score? Like wait, what? Like, this don't make sense. Why don't I have the option to just sit on the beach and stare at the ocean until I die?
Yeah.
Why do I have to work? Why is that a real thing? Like, how come so many people have fallen victim to the scam of working to think that you need the job in order to survive, when the reality is the job needs you in order to survive? So, again, that's why I think we have to get back to a place of centralized love for ourselves. And we have to get back to a place of understanding our worth and what we bring and how we add value. Because I'm pretty sure there's so many people out there playing roles that ain't meant for them, and they not stepping into their own roles. So that's why the world is where it is. Because
Come on, man.
you can't. I'm just serious. Like, just think. People wake up every day and they go to a job they hate.
Yeah, I see every day.
I'm just saying. Just think, if you took that same amount of energy and put it into something that you really wanted to do, and you believed in it full-hearted, and you put consistency in it, where would you be?
Yeah.
You feel me? Where would you be? Tyler Perry tells this great story. Now, don't get me wrong.
no, that's you said no.
I'm just, it is. It be poverty porn. Like, come on, bro. I like, what? Okay. I respect what he's doing. I respect his growth and where he's come from and everything else. But at the same time, I do feel it's a bit poverty porn-ish that he is, capitalizing off of. But he tells the story about how he had this play and how the play just kept failing and failing and failing. And how he kept picking up different jobs, like working at call centers and sleeping out his car and doing all of these things. But he would give his all to this play, right? But mind you, the play has failed 10 times. 10 times, right? Yeah. And he's still giving his energy to it. And then he said his last time he was in a car, he quit his job again, and he went there, and he said he ended up having like a sold out show. And he says now that play sells out every single time now. But he had to go through not knowing where his next check was coming from. He had to go through the failures because the thing is that you have to show the universe that you are serious about what you want. You get what I'm saying? You can't sit there and say you want these things and then you don't show it for yourself. I can't sit there and say I want easy to be fired and I'm worried about how many people show up in the audience. You know how many times I've started to speak easy, y'all? There's literally been no one in the audience. And I'm on camera like, hey yo, we got a packed house out here. Make some noise. What's going on? The only people in the audience will be the artists who's coming on to perform, right? But I promise you, I say that at the top of the show. By the end of that show, it'd be a packed house. Some way, somehow, people just come in and it would be a packed house, right? But who else is going to believe in speakeasy? Right. If it isn't for me, right? Like, how is it going to get there? If it is, who else is going to show up for speakeasy if it isn't me? Right. And what am I telling the universe? What am I telling myself within that, right? So again, I mean, I'm just saying you have to show up for yourself before you show up for anybody else. And we don't do that. We haven't done that. And I promise you the world would be a better place if people just showed up for themselves and people love themselves first. I think it would be a good place to be, but I don't know. I don't know why people choose to not show up for themselves. I think that's the bigger question than how many hits does it take to get to the center of the
Man, all right, y'all. And this, I feel like this is the most important question of the whole interview. You have been dropping gems like you Steph Curry in this game, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like any great interview, any great podcast, whatever you want to say, there should be takeaways, you know what I'm saying? Someone should be able to look at that like, I got this and this is the point. What do you feel are 3 takeaways some young man, some young woman is watching right now? They should be able to take away from this interview tonight.
If you pay anything, pay attention. You should stay tuned. And when I say stay tuned, you need to stay tuned to the God within. And I think I really am into love. Like unconditionally love, you feel me? And that means unconditionally love yourself. Give yourself grace. And when I say grace, like it's okay to make mistakes. And understand you are exactly where you're supposed to be right now. And be present in that moment because if you're not, then you're going to miss the good. And to take stock of your breath, like for real, because breathing is important. So please, I encourage everyone, just take 2 minutes a day to just breathe, baby. Just breathe. And I'm speaking to someone who wasn't able to breathe 2 days ago. So please breathe and just be present.
I gotta tell you something. I'm pretty sure I said this many times. Y'all probably play it back. But this was, I don't think I understand podcasting for me, or the interviews for me, sometimes bless me. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate it because, like, I'm taking all this in. So I'm like, hey, I take for granted the blessings that I get sometimes. You know what I'm saying? I never, and going forward, I don't want to be, I don't want to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, you take for granted the fact that you're able to do that. You know what I'm saying? And that's one, I got so many gems there, but that's the main one I got. You know what I'm saying? So I thank you. I appreciate you. And I want to say, you gangster, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Cause, like I see the video, I'm like, I see the house, like, oh man, you know what I'm saying? But this is all orchestrated by God, I feel. And someone gonna watch this and be like, I need that right there. You know what I'm saying? So thank you.
Appreciate that. Bro, you gonna be fired. Best believe you gonna have your own set.
Man, don't play. Speaking now.
Like, no, it's coming. Like,
part 2. We can pull up to the Speak Easy. You know what I'm saying?
Hopefully y'all can pull up to the pouring. That's happening on July 20th, which is this Thursday. So you can follow me everywhere but home. So what I need you to do is follow at Speak Easy, which is Speak EZIE. There's no A in that whatsoever. It is Speak EZIE. Click that link in our bio. Go to the Eventbrite. Register for the pouring because we need the numbers for the grant. And come out on Thursday and really help us build the pod and help us build the Zen Zone. Because again, this is for our community. It's for us and it's by us. You get what I'm saying? Like, we have to create what we want to see. And that's why I feel like the pod and the Zen Zone is so powerful because they are physical manifestations of the positive change that we want to pour into our community.
By the way, I had it in the show notes, so y'all can go anywhere, make sure I put the link and whatnot, so make it easy for you. And lastly, I feel like this most part of the pod, where can we reach you? Where can I need to get Elle in speaking, I need to get her presence here. You know
all those great things. The email is speakeasydc@gmail.com. I'm live every Wednesday at 3 p.m. on 95.9 FM WOVU, a Burtonville Bar community radio station. Our voices united. I don't do this all the time, right? So you can check me out there, or my personal Instagram is LJM _ the letters LJM. My name is ELJAYEM _ LJM. You can check me out there, DM me, hit me up, all real things. If you meet me in person, I don't kill trees, so I would most likely give you my phone number. But considering the fact this is the ethers of the net, yeah, you're not going to get that right now. So if you find me and you want to highlight me, please feel free to come up, talk to me. But also, as I tell people, my energy is dope. I'm pretty sure you got a whole bunch of familiarity. Like it, you still don't know me. That part too.
I'm at that whole clip, you know what I'm saying, have it on my page. Like you see the social media, but you don't know me.
Because people do that.
They do.
People do that. They hear me speak. They hear me spit a poem. They do all that. They feel my energy, and they build this familiarity up with you to the point where they think they know me, and it's still like stranger danger.
Right.
We don't know each other in real time or real life, sir. Please proceed accordingly.
No, absolutely. And come correct.
Man, because I got some hitters. So it's just a no. It's just a no. Like, relax.
This is good.
No, I'm real pain.
So like they say, you know, so I pay some bills. Guys, this past weekend was supposed to be had a podcast Christian training week. Like I say, postpone the guys. Please look out for that. We're trying to hit for October, so please look out for that. Okay. Next up, guys, but September 23rd, we are having the first beer and wine festival at Kane Park. You know what I'm saying? Yes.
Y'all need hosts?
Listen. Hey, I want to hit you up on here. No, absolutely. We need hosts, we need vendors, we need musical acts because once again it's gonna be a festival. We're gonna have music. Of course, when we get lit, we're gonna have a wellness check and whatnot also for mental and physical health.
That would be dope. You can throw me the mic anytime.
Yes, ma'am. You know what I'm saying? So the 2 Wines is putting this together, guys. So if you are a person who would like to be a vendor, please, I have a link in the bio. Please sign up. But use your tickets because, once again, it's going to move really fast. It's like a cookout that we're inviting you to. You know what I'm saying? So we'll be there. We'll be interviewing people, but it's going to be a good time, great time. It's going to be 2 Wines. So please get tickets then, okay, guys?
And this wine is amazing. And it's done by a black woman.
It is.
You know what I'm saying?
The best, I'm being biased, but it's the best in the city to me. That's just me.
I love this wine. Yes. I'm just saying. Yeah, this wine is good.
It's good. And it gets you lit.
Oh my God. Like, inadvertently. Paired with some nice brie cheese and some crackers.
Oh, yeah. You get fancy now.
Right. I'm just saying, you gotta get that grazing tape.
I see that.
Beautiful. They got cheese in here too. Yeah, it's here. It's here.
Well, we wanted to. Lastly, I want to thank you. Yes, you, the person watching this, the person listening to this right now. Because once again, the subscribers keep subscribing, likes, and comments. We appreciate you guys. Last time I checked, we still have like 6,500 subscribers, and I gotta say that's phenomenal. You know, those great numbers. I know people who will strive for half what we got and do it, but over a long period of time. We're in year 2. Actually, what's today? Today is the July 20. I can't remember. July 22nd. It'll be 2 years, guys. Yeah, it's coming up. 2 years anniversary.
What, Saturday?
Yeah. Absolutely.
But you know,
absolutely.
Cleveland was actually established on July 22nd too.
Wow.
Like 17.
Okay, come on now. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's not really. And it was a dude named Cleveland.
Yeah.
He established it, and then he never lived here. He moved like back to Connecticut or something. Okay. Right.
Well, listen, July 22nd is going to be we're going to make it a national holiday in a minute. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
it's been an international holiday.
Here we go. Part 26 inspired. Listen. So we wanted to thank y'all for once again tuning in every week and having great people like Elle, Cam, Brittany, Steve, you know what I'm saying? Once again making these episodes what they are, which are phenomenal. So we want to thank you, and we'll see y'all next week, right?
Oh, wait.
Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry.
I need to make this
Uh-oh.
so I can stay on task.
Beauty Told, my podcast/channel, August 6th, y'all.
August 6th. Come on now. Come on now.
Out there.
Yes.
Please tune in, follow me, my page, and
Yes.
support. Love y'all so much. Thank you for tuning in to the Full of Experience.
Yes.
I get to say
Yes. If y'all support us, y'all make sure y'all support Brittany, okay? Yes.
Y'all gotta come on my show next.
Oh, don't play. Don't play.
I'm not. I never play about the name. You know, I mean, I ain't got an assistant like y'all, but
We definitely can.
they got a whole crew of it. They got a cameraman, they got an assistant, they got real stuff over here.
Hey, listen, God is good. You know what I'm saying?
All
God
the
is good.
time.
No. And you know what? It's funny you said because, like, I feel like that's what that difference us between the next person. You know what I'm saying? Because I can tell you, you already know Elle. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what made the difference in our podcast, and everyone's the same thing. Professionalism. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, we make sure that we try to keep up on things. So
Yeah, y'all flashes. Brittany was on point with them text messages. Please confirm.
yeah.
For a good time, Brittany, you are there. You are making sure that guest shows up because again, guests are canceled.
Listen. No. And you know what's so funny? Because y'all, that's one thing we're going to talk about in the podcast person training. You know what I'm saying? Those things right there is what differentiates between that person and the next person. So, good stuff. Once again, we want to thank Elle for coming on.
Yeah, thank y'all for having me. I really enjoyed this. This is
No.
life back into me.
Hey, listen. You do your thing. You know what I'm saying? So, listen. I'm going to watch this. I hope y'all watch it. You know what I'm saying? Watch it over and over again.
I'm gonna say like,
All right.
what's going on? Steve, is Steve really that great of a cameraman?
We thank you and we thank y'all. So we'll see y'all next time. Episode 145, y'all. Peace.